Hey guys, Peter here, and I wanted to do a video on how you can approach negative events and negative habits overall and negative activities, and how you can do this by visualizing them as personalities. So why I decided to do a video on this? Well, basically those events just happen, be it an exam or a workday or something else, and they are not specifically designed to be against you or to make your life worse. They just happen, such as life, right? And so what we perceive of them or how we see them is entirely made up by us. And this is something that our mind does so that we can basically cope with our reality. So whether an event is perceived as good or bad basically depends on us. So let's take a couple of examples to illustrate how this might work. Let's say one of the examples is your workday. And your workday might be stressful, demanding, might take out your energy, might make you nervous, might be exhausting, might be something that you're not quite interested in, and so on. So maybe you can imagine that event or that day as a corporate guy in a suit who's a bit arrogant, who's a bit demanding, who's a bit draining your energy, and something like that. And what you want to do now is objectively sit down and talk with this person and see what he wants basically. Firstly, what is expected of you, what is the objective that you want to achieve, what are the problems that you might experience, and what is expected to happen basically. And you try to do this as objectively as possible, and you try to have a discussion in your head basically on what are the answers to these questions and what is going to happen to you during that day. Right, and once you do this, you have a bit of an objective overview of your activity, but you've experienced that in an environment that's a bit unpleasant. So that guy in the suit, for example. And what you want to do that is you want to imagine or change that person as someone that is pleasant. So for example, a colleague that you like, or a person that you like, or someone that you would call a friend, someone that you would enjoy having a conversation with. And now, basically, you're changing your perception of that situation and that event a bit artificially. But you can, again, sit down with this new person that you've created, and you can have the same conversation and ask the same questions. And what this does is basically it changes how your brain is wired towards a specific situation. And this is not going to change overnight, of course, because basically your brain is indeed wired to see that activity or that situation in that specific way. And that's how you see it currently, right? But what you can do is, before work or the day prior, you can sit down and have that conversation with that new personality that you've created. And basically you can see what's expected from you again, what's going to happen, but you're going to see it in a much more pleasant environment. And again, that rewires your brain on how you approach that situation. Again, your workday is not really built up to be against you or to make your day worse. It just happens, and all the rest is how you perceive it and how you make it up for yourself. So let's take another example of an exam. And how you see an exam at first might be it's something stressful, it's something that you're afraid of, or something that demands a lot from you, and there is a lot on the line for you as well. And again, you can sit down and talk, and your exam might be something scary, something angry, a personality like that. And what you can do is, again, ask objectively a couple of questions. So again, what is expected of you, what is the goal, what you want to achieve, and what is on the line for you, and how this is important for you, how this is interesting for you, how this is something you want to do, questions like that. And once you get the objective answers behind that situation, you can again change the personality to something that you like. So for example, maybe a professor that you like, or some personality that you like, or someone else. And again, before exams, you can do this exercise, sit down with that new personality that you've created, and go ahead and objectively ask and answer these questions in order to see or to foreshadow what's going to happen. But the difference is that you are going to view it in a much more pleasant environment this time around. And this again artificially rewires your brain to what is expected and to how that is actually different. So again, this is something that we make up in your head, whether we're expecting the events to be good or bad. You can go ahead and try these things out. So if you've listened to the video up to this point, again, I want you to do two things. First of all, get some event that is unpleasant for you that you have incoming and do this exercise for it. Visualize that person, that personality, and ask him those objective questions. Get the objective results, change the personality for that event, make it something pleasant. Again, answer those questions in this new pleasant environment and approach it in this way. Again, it's not going to happen from the first try, but it's something that you can rewire your brain and your approach towards it. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if you think that someone else will benefit from this information and find it useful, go ahead and share it. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.